Good morning everyone. Today we are going to study inflammatory bowel disease. In short we can say IBD. In our earlier video we have studied various type of joint disorder. In this video we will study IBD. So let's begin. It is an idiopathic disease caused by a dysregulated immune system to host intestinal microflora. Means what is idiopathic disease? Idiopathic means whose cause is unknown and which can occur spontaneously. So, inflammatory bowel disease, in short IBD. IBD is an idiopathic disease means whose cause is unknown and their mechanism occurs spontaneously by a dysregulated immune response. Means their regulation of immune response is disrupted to host intestinal microflora. Intestinal microflora means in our body there are some useful bacteria that can survive in our intestine like E. coli. So their immune response is disrupted and which will further lead to IBD. Next, the term IBD is commonly used to bowel disease having many similarities, but the condition usually have distinctive morphological appearance. These two conditions are ulcerative colitis and Crohn disease. Means the term IBD refers to two bowel disease, two types of bowel disease. They both have similarities, but there are some morphological changes, their appearance that will categorize it into two disease. So first is ulcerative colitis, second is Crohn disease. So what is ulcerative colitis? Ulcerative colitis, ITIS in the word colitis, which refers to inflammation. So ulcerative colitis is basically a condition that causes long lasting inflammation and sores. Sores means ulcer in the innermost lining of the large intestine of colon and rectum. What happens in ulcerative colitis? It will causes long lasting inflammation and sores in the innermost lining of the large intestine like colon and rectum. Next, Crohn disease. It can involve any portion of the GIT tract, but it mostly affects commonly 15 to 25 cm of the terminal ileum, which may or extended into the caesium and sometimes into the ascending colon. It basically ulcerative colitis basically affect innermost lining of the large intestine, that is colon and rectum, but Crohn disease can involve any portion of the GIT tract. It is not defined that it will attack or constitute only large intestine like ulcerative colitis. It can affect any portion of the GIT tract. Next, their causes. First is immunological factor. IBD is the result of a defective immune system. As we know, IBD, intestinal bowel disease, basically a result of defective immune system in which their immune response is abnormal or disrupted to host intestinal microflora. In this, the immune system responds incorrectly to the environmental triggers which cause inflammation of the GIT. Next, some microbial bacteria, etc. Next, smoking. Next, some oral contraceptives. An increased risk to develop Crohn disease with long-term use of oral contraceptive has been found in some studies, but there is no such increased risk of ulcerative colitis. Means if patient is consuming oral contraceptive for a long term, then it can increase the risk of Crohn disease, but still it is not confirmed that it will increase the risk of ulcerative colitis. Next, their symptoms. Signs and symptoms that are common to both type of this disease is diarrhea, fever and fatigue, abdominal pain and cramping, blood in stool, reduced appetite, unintended weight loss, constipation, joint pain and swelling, sores or swelling in eyes. Next, their diagnosis. First, Crohn disease is diagnosis through physical exam. What we will do in physical exam, we will check the signs such as painless, that is caused by anemia. As we know, in symptom we have studied there is blood in stool. So in physical examination we will check the sign or painless, that is causing anemia, or tenderness in the abdomen, means strength and their flexibility. There we will check skin rashes, mouth ulcers, swelling in joints, and recording of patient history. Next, blood test. What we will do in blood test? In this test we will view the changes in RBC, WBC, antibodies, etc. As we know, at the time of any infection there will be increase in the amount of WBC. So we will determine their strength and their range. Next is upper GIT endoscopy. In this we will look the interior lining of the esophagus. Esophagus is also known as food pipe. So we will check here interior means under. So we will check here interior lining of the esophagus, stomach and duodenum. Next, colonoscopy of flexible sigmoid scoscopy. Colonoscopy is basically used to examine the entire colon. Entire colon means full colon, while sigmoid scope reaches only at the lowest part of the colon. Colonoscopy, as the name indicates, it is the part of the large intestine. So in this colonoscopy we will measure the full entire colon, while in sigmoidoscopy we will reach only the lowest part of the colon. Next, some imaging techniques such as CT scan, MRI, X-rays, which will provide or produce an image of GIT to diagnose the disease. Next, their treatment. We should avoid foods that upset or that abnormal the intestine, such as highly seasonal foods or dairy products. Next, the main cause or aim of treatment are to reduce symptoms known as inducing remission. What is remission? Remission means it is a period of without symptoms. And anti-inflammatory drugs like aminosalicylates such as sulfasalazine, corticosteroids such as hydrocortisone, prednisone, and immunosuppressant such as cyclosporin 6, mercaptopurine, etc. can reduce inflammation. Other medications are antibiotics. What antibiotics will do? Antibiotics like ciprofloxacin and metronidazole. It is basically used to prevent or control infection. Next is some antidiarrheal medications. As we know, their symptoms in their diarrhea also occur. So we will provide some antidiarrheal medication such as loperamide, which is used to treat severe diarrhea. Now some iron supplements. As we know, there is blood in stool, so we will provide some iron supplement that will treat chronic intestinal bleeding in a person which may develop iron deficiency anemia. Next, bowel rest. In this person may need to rest bowel for a few days to several weeks. Means in this person should provide rest to their bowel for a few days to several weeks if they are having a bowel upset. Bowel rest involves drinking only clear liquid or having no oral intake. Bowel rest means we will not consume any food, we will not drink any fruit that contain other types of fruits, we will contain only clear food, only water. Next, or having no oral intake means we should not intake any food. Next is nutrition are provided to the patient IV through a special catheter or tube inserted into a vein in the patient arms. How we will provide nutrition? We will provide nutrition to the patient through IV. IV means intravenous, through a special catheter or a tube that will inserted into the vein of the patient arm. So I hope you all have understand my video. Thank you.